there, I'm Steve from Rcdads. I've been sitting here this evening and playing around with some of my other toys that I have here. This is a Hobby Zone G Flyer and my Rceda 9958. Now, the Hobby Zone G Flyer is getting kind of worn out, as you see. It's not looking too good. I have another Rceda 9958 that also is not working too well anymore. So, what I've realized is that I can take these, don't throw these controllers away. I can take these controllers and I can bind them to a bigger plane, like this plane here. So you can actually bind them through the Flysky receiver. Works really good. Now I haven't actually tried it out to see how high it will go, and we're going to try this out and see how it does. But this is the 6-channel Flysky receiver, and both of these are bindable. So let's go ahead and show you real quick how to bind these together. You're going to take your binding pin. Now make sure with your binding pin that you have the metal parts are towards the battery side. Always have it up towards the battery side. Plug that in. You're next going to plug in your cable for your ESC. That's in port number 3. Now, make sure, again, your pins are up towards the battery. Okay, your next thing you're going to do is you're going to plug in your battery. So this is everything's set up just like this. Make sure everything's pointing up towards the battery. I keep saying that because it's important. Plug in your battery. Now, once you get your battery plugged in, your light, as you see, it's flashing right there. It should flash. If everything's plugged in proper, it'll start flashing. Okay, next, grab a hold of your controller and hold in the throttle control on the left side. Hold that in. As you're holding in the button, make sure you turn on your controller. What will happen at this point is the lights will start to flash. They will bind together. You'll know they're binding together. You'll see them. It'll all of a sudden stop. Now turn off your receiver. Unplug the binding clip. Unplug the battery. Now you're ready to go ahead and fire this thing up all over again and make sure that everything works. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's plug back in our battery. There we go. And let's turn on our no, not this one though. We turn on this controller. And everything should be synced together right now. You'll see the lights on. Everything's working. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it out. Let's make sure the motor's working. All right, now that we've got the controller and the receiver and everything's all synced together, we're going to go ahead and this is a newer plane I put together. It's a VTEC. It's one of my kind of designs. I just put the servos in it. Now, when you're doing this with this controller here, you can trim out, but you cannot reverse or do anything. So you have to make sure when you're putting your servos together in any plane that you put it together with, you've got to make sure that your servos are set the right direction. In other words, that your elevator is going to go up when you hit up, because if you don't, you're going to have some real problems. You're not going to be able, now even if you reverse it, it might not go the right direction. So make sure that you set yourself up all at one time. I've done this plane right. I've made sure I checked my servos and everything. So let me go ahead and I'm going to hook my lines up and put the pod in and make sure that everything's working. Okay. We've got everything hooked in and pod's all set up. And now we're going to try this out. Now, like I said, I set this up as a trainer right now. So I've only got the elevator and rudder. I don't have ailerons on this plane, which is kind of cool because I want to start teaching people how to fly a basic plane. I couldn't think of a better setup. If this works, you know, as a longer range. Now, I know this works with the helicopter and the plane pretty far. So I can't see that this is going to be a problem. But everything's on. Everything's working. So let's check it out and see. Yep. Elevator's working good. Got up and down. Rudder works good. I know the throttle works. We already tried that. Now, here's the nice part about this. Most of these controllers have, if you push the stick in, it goes from, like right now it's set up for expert. If I push it in, it will make a noise, and that'll make it beginners, so that it barely, so if I'm teaching Tommy or I'm teaching a friend of mine how to fly, I hand this to him, he can do it. You have to give a lot of, you know, up and down to make that go. Left and right also. So this is a really cool feature. Once you hit it again, it goes back into expert. So this is a great setup. Let's go ahead and we're going to take this out in the field probably tomorrow and see how this thing flies. Alrighty, first thing we're going to do here is do a ground check with this controller. So I'm going to take a walk up the street and I'm going to keep checking to make sure. I want to see what kind of distance I get with this controller. Still good?
Yep.
Alright, that's good enough, man. If I can get that far, I'm doing pretty good.
That's crazy, dude.
Plane does fly on this. I got a pretty good distance out and didn't have a problem. So this is really cool. You should try this. If you have one of these old controllers, go ahead and put it together with a plane, see how it works. I'm Steve from Rcdads. Thanks for watching.